Are you allowed to describe what the inside of the moon looks like? I mean, is it similar to the interiors of the Death Stars from the Star Wars movies, where you have like hundreds of floors or levels, each with their own corridors and rooms? Or is it just one big open hollow space with all of the different bases and buildings built along the surface of the interior of the shell?
There are larger hollow spaces than the Death Star, but it's not like the entirely hollow. There are larger caverns, and yes, there is a centralized unit, and there's certain level of electricity in there, but not nearly close to the Death Star. It's still more of a natural object than the Death Star would be, but not much. It's still artificial to some degree, it's a hollowed out planet or hollowed out cellular body. It's not entirely electronic. There's two
Right.
larger areas that are more like caves, and then they're filled out with electronics or sleeping quarters for various beings. It's a high diplomatic ground, like your Antarctic region. So different races or species, like different countries on your planet, have made their claims, and therefore different areas are also suited to them.
Right.
And yes,
Okay.
it has a central computer in the middle.
Um, a central computer,
Yes,
so it kind of controls the whole moon?
to some degree. It's not like it's run entirely by artificial intelligence. People of various races or species, in their personal or collective form, can still interact with this computer and navigate it to some degree.
So it's at the exact center of the moon?
Yes,
Cool.
it's
All
quite
right.
big, so it's not like a small computer device. It's larger. It's like a core, like your Earth's core.
Right. Now, I know that Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin had contact with ETs that had been following them during the Apollo 11 mission, but are you allowed to elaborate on this at all? Like, for example, can you tell me which race or races met them and what they said to them?
We certainly were observing them, yes. Mostly were told to fuck off, basically, because they were venturing off on our territory or too close by. There also are humanoids that were more perhaps peaceful interacting with them, and there were humanoids from the vessel's reach that basically created them. Of course, also certain Freemasonics also already had programs coming from your region much earlier. They already made their claims. So there were, for example, a swastika flag and a Freemasonics flag long before a United States official flag being planted on the moon. Not even mention the fact all different extraterrestrial races, including us, who made our claims much earlier, and one that's also very much linked with the Illuminati, or you might term them Anunnaki, that also took large areas of the moon under control thousands of years ago, coming from your planet after they re-established their bases there.
Did your race personally, KALASK, meet with them?
With who?
Neil Armstrong or Buzz Aldrin?
Not class, no, but other reptilian races and species certainly were some of us observing our process.
Right.
They definitely saw reptilian ships from close up.
Did they meet any reptilians in person?
From a certain distance, not like there was handshaking or any of your rituals, but there was certain telepathic communication, and they saw very clearly members of our species interacting with them, yes. Waving at them or some showing them the fingers, you're calling this, yes?
Were you guys, the reptilians, wearing spacesuits or were you just naked?
We're mostly what you consider naked, yes. Some of them wear robes, as you're aware, but we don't necessarily need spacesuits. For some atmospheres, yes, there's something like the fishbowl around the head you might be familiar with, yes, but rarely necessary.
So you guys literally gave them the middle finger?
Some did, yes. We're much
Okay.
more what you consider perhaps casual than what you might consider a diplomatic interaction with a higher level species. A lot of
Okay.
the Empire just don't take your official endeavors into space very serious because you're already having other space programs that are much more advanced than what you consider NASA, for example.
Right. Did any of the other Apollo mission crews have any contact with ETs?
Certainly, yes. What do you say a close encounter of the first and second kind?
Hmm.
So sightings, yes.
Um, all right, now, when we were talking about Mars, you made the joke, Houston, there might be another problem, which of
Correct.
course is referencing the Apollo 13 mission. Do you know what caused the malfunction in the ship during this mission? Was it really an electrical issue causing an oxygen tank to explode, like in that movie clip? Or was it something more deliberate, like an attack?
There's not necessarily an attack, but almost a collision, yes. Venturing off course due to another ship of what you term extraterrestrial, which can be a lot of their origin. Doesn't mean there was necessarily an attack, there was also malfunctioning of your equipment, yes.
Can you elaborate on that a little bit? Are you saying the Apollo 13 ship bumped into an ET ship?
Almost, yes. It has ventured, of course, and then there was likely collision with another space object, not very big. Not like a meteor or anything, but perhaps a minor, very small particle, thread like a particle cloud, etc. Due to the almost collision, and mostly, of course, there was the shock in the crew of even making such a close encounter, very literally.
Okay.
And also, there was the it was not allowed to transmit to the populace of Earth such a occurrence. Also, Santa Claus idea, yes?
Oh, I didn't understand that. What about Santa Claus?
The code name of Santa Claus.
I don't follow.
Santa Claus is a code name for extraterrestrial sightings from your part, from what we're aware of, yes?
Okay.
So you
Well, that's
find
news
that
to
the
me.
transmission, that's what it refers to. From what we're aware of, it's not like we're constantly reading your transmission. Remember, your official space program is sort of as a joke, because we're aware it's a cover program, we don't take much interest in it.
Right. Um, all right, now, can you comment a little bit about why the surviving Apollo astronauts don't talk publicly about their ET encounters? I mean, is it just that they're afraid of threats to themselves and their families, or is it possible that their memories have been erased?
It's mostly fear, yes. But yes, a certain cover memory has also been installed, sometimes from beings such as us. Yes.
Uh-huh.
But to a large degree, they know more than what they admit. But
Okay.
remember, many of the astronauts, or cosmonauts for that matter, are officially not even recognized as such.
Right. Um, okay, now many people wonder why NASA suddenly stopped going to the moon in 1972 and haven't been back since. Um, do you know, I mean, like, it seems to me like they perhaps might have been told to stop going, or they just took the hint from having reptiles giving them the middle finger. So
There's
is it
more than just a small hint, yes.
okay? So yeah, basically they were told to stop going.
Not just by us, but also by other of the more advanced space programs, considering they were told that they're just a joke, yes? Causing also a lot of drama with them realizing the conspiracy level that you're exposed to. Some were even told by members of your own species to fuck off.
Okay,
Or they were told, yes, you're just a cover program, go continue on with your games, but they're not allowed to venture off further because some of your own governments also don't want the public to know what they're doing either.
right.
So
Okay,
no need
well,
to unnecessarily breach any secret agreements, yes? No
right.
necessity to distribute information to those who then cannot keep the lid, perhaps.
I see. I got you. All right, now one last question on this topic. So, like, probably in a few years, private space companies will have advanced to the point where they can, begin having their own moon missions. How do you think this will play out with respect to the groups on the moon as well as people on Earth that might not want this to happen?
They're really much further, various private companies. Perhaps not the ones like Mars exits that you're aware of, but others, especially military contractors.
Right.
So the new ones
Yeah.
will likely be included in those that really exist, particularly on Mars.
So like
Mars
some of these,
Corporation, for example.
what was that one called?
Mars Corporation, Mars Incorporated.
Um, okay.
They
Well,
have a
like,
large base on Mars. They are using slave labor from
uh,
Earth.
slave labor from Earth.
Yes. A large number of Earthlings work there.
That's scary.
Why? We're aware you're
Uh,
having certain idea of slavery being morally wrong or whatever. Is this the main cause or is there something else that scares you in this regard?
so do these people from Earth know that they're slaves, or are they just like mind controlled and they have their memories erased or something?
Many of them are born there. So you could consider them perhaps mind controlled in terms they grow up in a different environment. Depends what you consider North Koreans mind controlled.
Huh.
Or Americans, for example. You grow up in different environments and you're being told certain things are real, correct? Your average American or your average North Korean or perhaps your average African, etc. grows up in a different environment where they're being taught much different things by public media. It's also mind control, isn't it?
Right, right, right.
Yes, and you're also slaves to the monetary system. On Mars, it's perhaps more direct, perhaps more similar to North Korea, or what you consider a dictatorship, and people are told much different stories. For example, that Earth's uninhabitable by now.
Hmm.
So they're also part of an experiment, so to speak, because also certain information is being withheld from them. But it's not like the device in their head implanted or something like that, like the Matrix. Not to that degree. But their mind control, the term they're being taught they're living the best life possible because they're the best condition that's still available to them. It's so obviously isn't the entire truth at all, but it's not like they're being tortured every day, they're just being made to work without payment, so to speak. So you would consider it slavery.
Okay, interesting.
Yes, they're
Um,
still under supervision of people from your planet. But
I
they're
got
also
you.
working with us. To
I
some
see.
degree. They're still having a certain independence, like for example, your Australian region has independence from Great Britain, yes? But
Right,
not as much as the United States would have from Great Britain in comparison.
right. All right, well, to get back to like these private space companies, like let's say the new guys, it's expected that within like maybe 2 or 3 or 4 years they'll be attempting to land on the moon. Do you think like that's going to be public or is it going to happen in private?
They won't likely not be allowed to do so. At least not to the degree that they want. It's likely
Uh,
they will have to face heavy obstruction, limits, also by your own governments. There is a certain negotiation with the Illuminati group right now as far as they will be allowed or not. Remember, your secret space program is in charge of pretty much everybody from your planet going out. Even though there are no alternative space programs you might be aware of, the United Nations one would obviously support this endeavor, for example, but that's more linked with the Federation.
right.
We won't allow this to the degree that they want to. For security and preaching reasons. We're negotiating with the Illuminati because they're more in control of this group, which is what we're using as a reference point from the Freemasonic groups that already ventured off there. The group from Wessel's region, what we're aware of, doesn't take much interest in this at all, so it's most likely the Illuminati group we're also working to some degree that would be then get the contract, so to speak, or would be charged with obstructing their paths so they don't make problems for us.
I see. Well, that's all very strange and interesting, and for every one thing you answer, it just brings up 30 more questions.
Adventures often interrupted in politics to some degree, but mostly in secret politics from your own planet, with your disclosure projects, and we don't want to preach your course of action there as we favor what you consider a slow disclosure.
Right. Yeah. Okay, well, thanks for answering my questions about this. It's like I said, it's all super interesting. I'll definitely never look at the moon the same way again. But all right,
Yes,
cool.
there are
Thanks.
still a lot more to what you'll be aware of, but it's likely if you venture off in space, that would be one of the places where still certain of your planet have an easier time getting there. Indeed, Mars is more accessible because there's not so much obstruction, because there are more empty places where people can land without necessarily it being of a problem.
Right. Cool. All right. Well, thank you, KALASK.
Yes,